My name is Mary Lou Gregg, and I'm the co-founder of Gleason Publications and DealMakers. It gives me great pleasure to once again bring you a series of conversations with women in this dynamic industry. This year on Women's Day, we take a moment to pause, not just to celebrate, but to listen, to reflect, and to be inspired. The stories you're about to hear are from remarkable women in the M&A and financial markets industry. These are not just stories of personal achievement, they are stories of resilience, mentorship, and purpose. They speak of powerful role models, of uplifting others, and of choosing courage over comfort, even when that path is unfamiliar and uncertain. There is a common thread that runs through each voice, a commitment of building spaces where women are seen, heard, and empowered to lead, a commitment to paying it forward, to lifting as they rise, and to nurturing the next generation of bold, brilliant leaders. In a world that sometimes teaches women to doubt themselves, these women have chosen to rise, to speak, to lead, and to leave a legacy of excellence. So as we share these reflections, let us also be reminded that the future of this industry and of our country depend on how we continue to open doors, challenge norms, and to support one another in rising higher. Let's listen with intention, and let's carry these lessons forward, not just today, but every day. In the words of Sheryl Sandberg, leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence.
Hi there, my name is Yanda Nchona. I'm an M&A practitioner of 20 years now. I absolutely enjoy doing what I'm doing. And the reason I enjoy it is because it involves problem solving every single day, and it's talking to people. It's using a skill that I've developed over this time and solving their problems. So to the young ladies out there, it's quite simple for me. Don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. When you have your passion or your desired path, set out to achieve it and get the tools you want to, but nobody can tell you that you can or can't do anything. And I think that confidence goes a long way. I've watched many people be successful using their confidence. How I've built my confidence is to prepare.
My name is Simone Abramson. At Investec, I work in the corporate finance team, and my main role in that team is the execution of transactions. Sub-Saharan private equity funds are increasingly setting up shop within South Africa. As with the renewed optimism in the economy, this opens up a suite of opportunities that meet the return profiles of private equity funds. In addition, private equity investors want to be in the countries in which they are invested in. They like South Africa for a number of reasons. It provides an investment-friendly regulatory environment, a sophisticated financial market, a skilled workforce, as well as a robust legal framework. In addition, the South African rand is a lot less volatile than other African currencies, and it is easier to exit investments in our market. The integration of AI into M&A strategies and execution has the ability to revolutionize the corporate finance industry, not only in South Africa, but also globally. As AI can help us automate manual tasks and provide a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips. Specifically in M&A, AI can assist us in analyzing data, streamlining due diligence, assisting with regulatory compliance, as well as provide valuable market insights, amongst others. The increased adoption of AI in M&A has the ability to lead to faster, more informed, and smarter deal making.
I'm Aziza Mohiddin. I'm part of the sponsor leveraged finance team. In essence, we provide financing solutions to companies that are backed by private equity firms. Private equity firms in South Africa are moving away from traditional strategies and focusing more on reshaping businesses and how businesses can impact the environment and society. Investor confidence would be improved with strengthened governance, promotion of public-private partnerships, policy consistency, and improved infrastructure. Consistent and predictable government policies are important for effective long-term investment planning. Businesses with strong and consistent cash flows are becoming more attractive, especially if consumer behavior is limited. There's also being more scrutiny placed on management and executive to align the experience with the objectives of the companies. Private equity firms are becoming more deliberate with their investment strategies, where generalist funds are less attractive. Given the need for increased internet services and financial digital solutions, the fintech space is going to gain significant traction. However, currently the renewable and infrastructure sector is seeing the most activity as the country is trying to stabilize their basic essentials like power.
Hi, my name is Sophia Patel. I'm currently the managing partner at Weber Wenzel. I got into law because justice was my passion, and that's why I pursued law. I ended up doing M&A and corporate law essentially because I was very interested in the intersection between business, law, strategy, and most importantly, people. To the young woman lawyer that's working with me on a deal, my advice to them would be, most importantly, it's resilience. And you get resilience by trying it over and over again and never giving up, just never giving up. Confidence, but at the same time, humility. Interdependence, which is knowing when to ask. It's okay if you don't know an answer to a particular question, but knowing who to ask and when to ask is very important. Vulnerability, absolutely important, so that you are transparent to your clients and your clients know and understand what you mean authentically when you're directing them and guiding them in relation to a deal or a provision in a transaction document. And ultimately, it's excellence, striving for excellence so that you can stand apart from others in the industry.
My name is Hlumela Xozwa. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Investment Banking at Investec. We are seeing a shift in how leadership teams view operations. Firms have embedded operations into their strategic discussions, product-specific discussions, and growth initiatives. Operations teams now impact the time it takes to close transactions, client retention, as well as capital pricing. Boards are realizing that operations enable transparency, trust, and execution, leading to certainty for investors. It is important for businesses to avoid digital transformation from becoming a surface-level initiative, but rather a strategic lever. To unlock value, digital transformation must start with business outcomes, not software features. It should be led by strategy and shaped by input from cross-functional teams and not limited to IT or operations teams. Success is not just the cost savings or adopting new technology. Rather, it is measured by improved speed, quality, investor confidence, and the ability to adopt at scale.
My name is Naomi Netengwe. I'm a principal at Internet Partners. So for me, I've always been very passionate about investments. So professionally, I studied finance, but in that journey, I just decided that I wanted to go into investments. So I went to investment banking on day one. And when I was there, I just wanted to get more experience and more exposure in the industry. And fast forward, I made the decision to go into private equity because I thought private equity was quite a good space for me to marry my investment skills with impact and creating value for stakeholders. So for me, mentorship is quite an important role. So personally for me, I know that I've had good mentors who have seen me grow in the space, who were very much part of my journey when I knew nothing. And I still work with them today to fast track my career. So even for the young people, I always say that it's good to have that one person who you know they are going to guide you or they're going to give you advice on how best to tackle profession, life, and everything because you just need like input from other people.
My name is Joyce Kwatani, maiden surname Malivia. I am in the Investec M&A team. I've been part of the team for 4.5 years, having joined at the beginning of 2021. Due diligence is becoming thorough as a result of a number of factors, some of which include increased regulatory scrutiny, the complexity of M&A transactions, and uncertainty of the economy. We are also seeing that there is a need for robust or comprehensive due diligence as a result of the requirements of the W&I, which is also warranty and indemnity insurers. So what this means is that in order for you to get cover, you need to demonstrate to them that you have undertaken thorough due diligence. What we are also seeing in the due diligence space is that it's expanding beyond the traditional areas that we are used to, i.e. your legal, your finance, and the tax. And it is now including areas such as ESG as well as commercial due diligence. What we are seeing from an investor's point of view is that there is an expectation that by the time they get admitted into the sales process, there will already be vendor due diligence reports that are made available to them. So while this may take time in terms of the preparatory for the seller, what we often see is that it helps in expediting the M&A process, especially in a scenario where there are multiple bidders involved in the M&A process.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tayyuba Suleiman. I head up the technology and communications sector in the corporate and commercial department at Cliff Decker Hofmeyr. And because I specialize in technology, today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of insights into how technology is affecting our environment as women. What's interesting for us in our sort of day-to-day job is that we're looking at governance structures and we're looking at incident response management across our clients' businesses when they're approaching a cybercrime or any kind of particular strategic decision-making aspect, particularly related to their technology environment or their data protection or their AI strategy. And what's interesting is that there are many voices in the room. And at the end of the day, hindsight always feels like 2020 when you're looking back and you're saying, oh, the decision making was poor or the decision making was really good. But in a state of crisis, there are many different ways in which people are going to respond. And what's important to understand is who is in the room and who has an active voice in that room. So for young women who are participating in crisis situations, who are informing the strategy of an organization during a cybercrime attack, it's really important to lead from a position of confidence and understanding of the situation and some empathy for the difficulty in having to make those decisions. But it's also important for men to understand that the way in which women perhaps are going to respond is going to be different in those crisis situations. So what I'd like to be able to convey to anybody who is sort of contemplating how they go forward, spend some time evaluating and talking about these dynamics within your boardrooms, in your team building sessions. And I think it's going to lead to more fruitful sort of engagement across both our participation as men and women in the workplace.